You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
Welcome all. I'm Sean, along with my co-host, Dave.
Yes, sir.
And Master Earl will be with us shortly. And of course, you know what it is. We're just dads with mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. And of course, make sure you always follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. Be sure to listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, man, at the hotseedpodcast.com. We do appreciate you guys, man. Jump on over to that hotseedpodcast.com and become a supporter of the show with the Hot Seed Podcast Plus. Get 20% off your merch when you become a supporter of the Hot Seed Podcast Plus. And last but not least, click the links in the show notes because it is football season and it's cold as hell to be going outside. So you can get free delivery on your first order over $35 with Instacart. Just let them know the Hot Seed Podcast sent you. On that note, we had a delivery come to my house today and we got a free skillet. We didn't order a skillet, an electrical skillet, but it showed up at my door.
Oh, damn, bro. Oh, man.
Yeah, shout out to whoever they get their skillet. I was like, look, here's the crazy part. The stuff got dropped off at the door on the porch. You know how my porch is. So I go, the gentleman, he dropped it off and he's taking the picture from his car, so that he dropped it off. So I didn't do the order today. I'm not sure who did it in the house. Maybe my mother-in-law or my wife. I'm not sure who did the order. But I'm just grabbing stuff off the porch. So I don't know what's been ordered. More times than not, when stuff comes to my house, I don't know who ordered anything. I just live here at this point. So I pick up a skillet. I'm thinking, why the hell did we get an electrical skillet? Why do we need this? So I get in the house and put everything on the island. And my mother-in-law said, "You order a skillet?" I'm like, "I thought you did." She was like, "That's not it." So we're going through the bag. She was like, "I didn't order none of this stuff." That electrical skillet, like some snacks. None of this stuff was on. And I'm like, my man's was already gone. I'm like, ain't nobody come back to be like, "Hey, nah." So I don't know, man. So shout out to whoever homie was that didn't deliver the right stuff.
I think they're getting to the point now because it happens here too. Like, my stuff be at neighbors' houses. The thing that saves the whole grace is the picture. I'll be like, I know that door. I know that porch. And stuff like that. That's the only thing that saves it. Because they be like, yeah, deliver it. I'm like, nah.
Not at all. Not at all.
They be delivering at any other number that's the same as mine, but a whole separate street. I'm like, just look at it.
I don't know, man. We've got to a point now, man, that the write-offs is so crazy. With a lot of these companies, it's just like, whatever, man. Whatever.
So
whatever. Anyway, man, how's it going?
What happened with let me tell you what happened with my old ass here. So called myself, let's move a couch from upstairs downstairs. Just off the whim of it. Let's just do that.
Shit.
So it's me.
All right, here we go.
And Cam. And I was like, okay, I'll have my one side. Y'all two together have that side over there. Well, that turned into, hey guys, are y'all like doing anything with y'all side? Because I damn near feel like I got the whole couch over this. Now, with all that weight coming back on me, and I'm still going downstairs. Now, you know how it's set up upstairs, right?
Yes.
I had to lift the couch over the railing to come down the stairs and then make that turn to get down towards the foyer area. Bruh, when I tell you for 2 days, my body was like, yeah, you're going to feel all this. You're going to feel all of this. That is exact. I was feeding off the burst of energy. You know how you're like, now we ain't putting this down right now because I'm not going to get it back. It was something. I don't even remember how we got that couch up there, but Yeah, it's not moving again. It's,
Oh man,
it's not moving
look,
again.
that's just a case of old man strength. But then the backside of it is where it hits you. So they remind you. I think you from a year ago, well, about a year ago now. So when we bought a new washer here, replaced the washer. So placed the washer, it got delivered, but Home Depot or Lowe's or Home Depot, or whatever the missus got it from, got there and was like, yeah, we can't fit it through the door. So they didn't even attempt to take it down to the lower level of the house. So I get down, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, all right, cool, don't worry about it. So I'm like, Javen, let's go. We're gonna take this downstairs. He was like, all right, I got the straps and everything. You know, he's a young strapping fella, weak as shit. So what I end up doing, I end up strapping the washer to myself and took that bitch downstairs my fucking self. And that was the one time in life me and Javen never had an issue like that. Like he got out of line and I had to check him. But I saw it in his face. It was like, how are you doing that? I'm like, it's an old man streak. Now, after the fact, to your point, yeah, I was sore.
Yeah.
I was really sore. But when you do stuff like that, your sons in particular get you be like, yes, I know never to try that, man, because he just took a whole couch upstairs or he took a whole watch movie downstairs by himself. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's get right into it, man. Episode 162, man. We're going to bring in Master Earl right now. He got the case of the cooties, apparently. Well, Earl, how you doing? For everybody listening, for everybody watching on YouTube, he looked like he chewing his ginger. So don't be put off by the fact that he just chewing his big ass wad of ginger right now, because this is what Earl does. Okay, maybe no. I guess you good? Is that okay? There we go. Let me get this thing go. Anywho, we here. Everybody good?
Yeah, your judge is pausing like a mug.
Slight delay.
Yeah.
I saw it for a second though. Maybe because it's so cold outside and the router out here be like, bro, it's cold. You got me over here working.
It's cold as hell.
It at all. I don't like it. It is. I mean, it's warm in here, but I think it's good.
Girl, you saying something else? You're on mute.
That makes it even warmer. Anyway, man, episode. Yeah, you are on mute right now.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
He look like he ain't.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah,
episode 162.
Cold, serious. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is, man. It's so crazy, man. Like, I had to pick the dogs up and take them outside so they can go outside and use the bathroom because they went to the door, got that windshield hit him. He was like, I know you fucking lying. Nah, man, y'all got to go outside today, brother.
Carter loves every bit of that jump. He loves
the youngest one she does.
Bit of that jump.
Yeah. The other one, he don't. Benny's like, nah, I'm cool. So much so that he decided he wanted to take a poop on the brand new carpet that was bought in the dining room. I heard about it when I got home. I was like, ooh, but I would do it too. It's cold as shit outside. You want me out there? I'm out here naked. I ain't even got no balls no more. So this my ass is just cold the whole time. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's get right into this, man. Before we get into like the serious stuff, man, this is not even it's a quasi not so breaking news. So I'm gonna run it just like that because one of us may or may not know that this is happening. So let's get right into it.
Not so breaking news.
So this is according to Business Insider. Costco has unionized workers vote to authorize a strike. I'm not sure if you was aware of this. So unionized warehouse employees affiliated with the Teamsters Union have voted overwhelmingly in favor of going on strike. The union told Business Insider the vote came ahead of a January 31st contract expiration deadline. The contract covers over 18,000 workers across the United States, including the recently unionized warehouse in Norfolk, Virginia, hometown. Newport News, but VA, home. Costco employs over 300,000 people worldwide, over 200,000 of which work in the United States. Quote, Costco's greedy executives have less than 2 weeks to do the right thing, unquote. Teamsters General President Sean O'Brien said in a statement, if they refuse, they'll have no one to blame but themselves when our members go on strike. Man, you know what? I was actually caught off guard by this because, for the longest time, Costco has been ranked, I want to say, in the top 40 best places to work in the United States. I've never met a unhappy person who works at Costco, ever. I've never seen a spill at Costco. I feel like they got little dudes that propel out of the ceiling, pick that shit up, and just go. I've never felt at any time any type of like, uncomfortable feeling anything in Costco. And I see this the actually other day, and I saw this. I was like, wow, they going on strike. What's your take on this? Did you guys see this? I know. Well, you nodded your head, yes. So I'm assuming you already knew. But yeah, I'm trying to get more information, but I don't really see. I'm assuming it's a wage thing. I'm assuming, but what's your take on this?
It definitely has to be that. But let me just tell you, you know how often I go to Costco.
Right.
I see the same people work. You can't tell me that they don't work 7 days a week, bro. Like
True,
they are
true.
in there. They are in there. And for the money that Costco brings in, if I work there, for example, and I know the money that they bring in,
yeah,
and I'm not seeing raises and things like that, there's a problem because don't think you're just ringing up stuff at Costco. You put up with a lot at Costco, especially you gotta be one of those people that do the sampler joint and the people running up and all that type of stuff. Like, bruh, there's a lot of stuff.
One, sir, you can only have one, Mr. Story. You can have one sample. That's it.
Yeah, man. And it's always packed. And remember, this is a one-stop shop. There's a little bit of everything up in that joint. Even the food court. You work back there in the food court, bro. That's busier than some fast food places.
Right.
And I'm not even exaggerating. We go in. I'll give you an example. We love the pizza there, especially for the price that you get it for. You can get a large one-topping pizza for $10. $10 straight. You out. Okay?
Yeah.
When we go in, before we shop, I go over and I order the pizza because that's how long it's going to take for that pizza to be done. You don't wait till you ring up and then go order the pizza. You go in, you order the pizza, then you go do your shopping for the next half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is. Yeah, that's what you got to do, or else you're sitting up there waiting. That's the trick. But just think about the people that are back there having to make that over and over. Some people getting a slice. Some people getting multiple pies. Oh, it's Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Somebody ordering 10 pies at a time, 20 pies at a time, 15 pies, and they flipping. And guess what? They're getting it from Costco because I told you it's $10 a pop. Why are you getting it from Pizza Hut where it's $20 a pop? When you can go to Costco and get it for $10 a pop. So it is not just hey, I'm walking through the aisle, picking up my food and getting it rung up. No, there's so much going on up in there. So much going on up in there. And I guarantee you they're underpaid. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Which is, well, I will say underpaid compared to, okay, let me run this back. Just because I know, just because I'm in this space, I'm in the retail space. Underpaid based off the fact they probably, to your point, they may not have been receiving the raises that they should because they're actually one of the better paid institutions, and that's why they've been one of the top 40 places to work. But I'm
you also gotta go off that percentage that's made too.
Yeah, I'm guessing that there hasn't been the type of like whether it's merit raises and stuff like that post COVID because pre-COVID. You never heard about this shit. So this had to be something post-COVID and like the money hasn't continuously risen for them in that regard. And, whenever you're dealing with a union, I was part of a union about years ago when I worked with a company. It is a very, very tenuous situation, man. But I was surprised, man. I'm surprised that it was one point that the CEO of Costco, I forget his name, but he was taking heat, man, from all of the other big box, I guess you want to call it retail type, like Sam's Club and those guys there, for how much he was actually paying his folks. Like he was, and I'm loosely quoting, he was like, hey, if you want to have a happy workplace, you got to take care of your folks. But that was the message some years ago. And I remember seeing that. I was like, yo, that's solid because I've never heard a person who was like, yo, I'm quitting working at Costco. I know some folks who started working at Costco after I graduated from high school, and that was in 1998, and they are still there. So it's wild to see, but it just lets you know at some point, maybe if they went through a restructuring of the board or something like that, when the money start getting funny, folks gonna be like they gonna hold you to the hold you accountable.
So Costco's, I was just looking up the hourly wage.
Mm-hmm.
In New Jersey, the average is about $22.54, which isn't bad.
Right.
For an unloader, you're getting paid $38.53 an hour. Warehouse workers, $16.67. Material handlers, $21. Packers, $22. Warehouse associates, $17. Opticians, $33. Meat manager, $24, and then the cashier, $20.
Meat manager. How much the meat manager get paid?
$24.
He needs more. He needs him or her needs more. If they're handling meat, they got to do it. So the person that's making 16, that was a who? That was a warehouse person or unpacker or some shit.
Yeah, the warehouse person.
Yeah. I need you to come up off. I need you to come off at least 20 for that. Fuck that. 16.
And they said it's not just off the wages, it's off the benefits. So their benefits gonna suck too.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. I got you. It's gonna be interesting. Interesting, man. We're in a new age of just the United States right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Let's jump right into it because this shit has gotten crazy. Yeah. So your current president has been inaugurated, and he just started to sign stuff, like knocking stuff down. Executive orders, like all types of things that's dropping down. And it has really, really put a lot of things, turned things onto his head. Like a man's just gotten there and just started signing shit. Like, I don't even know if he's even writing the executive orders. I feel like somebody's writing them and he's just signing them because it sounds like a good idea. Some that hits close to home is the, immediately getting rid of the remote work situation for all federal workers. That is not a popular topic here in my house at all. They have, and then you got the things, I won't say more serious, but maybe you got the things as far as like the birthright citizenship thing that actually, thanks to the efforts of a judge, I forget out of what state, man, they kind of push back on they push back on that, making that thing it's pretty much unconstitutional, man. So yeah, you born in the United States. So yeah, so considering that, if I'm correct, ain't both of Donald Trump folks weren't U.S. citizens? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like they won't ain't he right? Nah, I gotta look that up. If I had a fact checker, I'm pretty sure that his folks weren't born in the United States, if I'm correct. I may be wrong, but I think I'm kind of on with this. So I'm gonna look, before the end of the show. There's been other things in here, man, that I'll put it all together. That Miss Taraji P. Henson, when she did the BET Awards last year, and they had that segment. I don't think it was planned, but she went in and she was she went in on the whole Project 25 situation. And she looked right in the camera and was like, "Hey, look this shit up." And a lot of stuff in that is kind of coming to right. It's at least within the phase of the executive order side. He's trying to push across. A lot of that stuff is coming to light. So for every person who decided that that's where they wanted to cast their vote, this is what you're getting out of that. Black or white, this is you getting this. So man, I'm gonna give it to you guys, man. What's your feedback on all this craziness, man? You've been here 1 week and he's just been out here fucking cutting up.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't shot.
Right.
Man, this is what people voted for. Yeah. So they say. Well, man. Got weather this storm. I just those that voted for him, some of them are victims of this as well. So, but hey, whatever. Yeah, that's what you voted for. It's what you voted for. It just all seems like a publicity stunt with some of this stuff. He's in the office. He's still talking about Biden. Biden wouldn't do this. You know, yo, you won, bro. Hey, move on. Then, what was the other thing he did? He'll be like, oh, they'll read off what the executive order is and be like, oh, this is the big one. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I feel like it's hiding. It's smoke screens for what the real, issues are. So. But I ain't shocked.
So let me be a little bit more blunt. Did y'all see when Cam and Mace on their joint, when Cam was going off about Jim Jones and Mace was sitting back eating the popcorn?
The funniest shit I've seen in the last week or so. Hilarious.
That's me for the next 4 years. I ain't gonna let none of this harm me. I'm gonna sit back in my fuck around and find out stage, because that's really what it is. I don't want to hear no grease, especially from anybody that voted for him. You should have thought about it. If you're one of those people that voted for him, but yet you just found out one of your family members or friends is now being pulled out of a church or even a school because he authorized that to go get some of these people to push out, like immigrant-wise, okay. I don't want to hear you cry about it. I don't want to see your post on Facebook, Instagram, any of those things. This is what it is. If you're one of those people where your daughter or sister or whoever is in the military and you voted for this man, and all of a sudden, let's say a year down the road, women can no longer serve in the military, because that was brought up real quickly. I don't want to hear it, because that's what you voted for. When you see maybe you working with some of these eco-friendly things, windmills and certain type of things, eco-friendly job that you may have gotten under Biden, under his regime and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you see that job taken away because they're no longer eco-friendly. It's all about drill, baby, drill. Hey, that sounds great. Once again, I don't want to hear it. If you're a person that works for the government, like your wife and like my wife, and it's just crazy to me when I jump on the internet and I see people like, well, it's about time for them to get back to work. Go check the numbers. They're more productive at home. But go ahead and push them right back in that office. Let them waste their gas and have less money on the table. And then you're going to see a big dropout in government. And that's what's going to happen. But, hey, nobody thinks about that. They just heard, hey, people weren't in the jobs. Let them get back to work and all these type of things. By the way, how do they get back to work in buildings that are no longer there? Figure that out. Figure that out. Hey, even before COVID, my wife never went to work 5 days a week. So for his executive order of being back in there full time and blah, blah, like that stuff never existed. Some of these people that work for these jobs don't even work in the area anymore. How do they come into work?
Right.
So it's going to be weird, some of these things. A lot of this is what Earl was leading to as far as show. If you don't believe that, who sits back, lets TikTok go out for less than a day, and then all of a sudden, oh, you know what? Let me give them a grace period. Maybe Elon Musk and people like that can buy it, and we can put it within U.S. control and split it 50-50, and we'll get the money from this. It wasn't about no money-wise. It was about the fact of information. Yeah. What are you talking about? It ain't about splitting it 50-50. But that was the pitch. It go out for a couple of hours. You think he wasn't in the air? Hey, let that thing go out. And then as soon as I get in office, that thing comes right back on. And now I'm the savior of that. You didn't think he was over there in Netanyahu's ear talking about, oh, no, don't let that deal that was actually put together, I want to say March of last year. It's been on the table all that time. Oh, yeah, don't sign that deal yet. But soon as I'm about to go in, guess what? Let's sign that same deal that's been sitting there, and I can say I'm the one that pushed it across the finish line. You don't think that was any type of marketing scheme? These are the things that I'm like, stop being bamboozled by the things that are going on. Right. Stop having the wool pulled over your eyes. This is what it is. Now, he's in there. I don't want to hear all the talk anymore. I don't want to see all the posts anymore. I want to see the things done. If you're so happy about these things, I don't know how you can be happy about someone that crushed a police officer in a door. About 4 or 5 of them committed suicide after January 6th. And all of these people are let go. Every single one of them. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But we sit back and say, hey, this is the way it's supposed to be. You're the same people that say that you're party saying you're for the police, but they were dying and getting beaten and stuff. And there's video, like we're watching it. You know, these people are reliving it every single day, yet everybody got set free. So, like I said, I'm sitting back with the same popcorn and Mace got in my fuck around and find out stage because I don't want to hear anything. I'm tuned out. Just let me work. Let me stack up for the next 4 years and do what I need to do. Unless you cut off my Xbox, we ain't gonna have no problem.
I love it. And just my own fact check. So his dad was actually born in the Bronx. His mom was born in Scotland. Just want to put that out. So for any fact checkers on that. Interesting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
so wait a minute. If one is from the States and one is not, what is that?
I don't even know. I don't. Yeah, what do you do? Okay. Like, yeah, right.
Is that part of his birthright thing?
Right. Do you get a birthright, sir? Because your mom was not born here. That's interesting. I don't. Something I've echoed the same thing as well with everything that's going on. A lot of this stuff is for it's the ultimate just deception. You know, people are going to get riled up about a lot of stuff that's being signed in. And like we've said, we've been doing this for nearly 5 years now. And while you're paying attention to this, that, and the other, there is something that's being worked that you're not being paying attention to that you're going to look up and be like, oh, shit. So, you know, whether you're looking at I actually had to, and you do what you want. But I've actually had to say in my house, I'm saying, hey, stop looking at the reels. Stop looking at the media propaganda. Yeah. It's because it's all gonna make you mad. Stop looking at shit. Like people you are able to train your Instagram feed, your Facebook feed, Twitter feed to show you what you want it to show. It's all an algorithm. All of my IG either shows me golf shit, Batman stuff, Puma, now BMW.
You said
Washington Commanders, Terramana, DC and Marvel stuff, and dad stuff, and shit about cutting grass and barbecue. That's everything in my feed. I ain't got nobody twerking in my feed. I don't have no Donald Trump shit no political shit in my feed. I don't have none of that shit.
Feed. All right.
Yeah.
No, but that's a secret jump.
But I don't have none of that, man. I learned that years ago, man. You can train the information that's coming to you. Like you get so riled up on some of the stuff that you see, and all this shit is like a lot of time it's smoke and mirror shit. Like the shit with the whole birthright thing. Yeah, he did sign an executive order, but understand that an executive order is just something that he's actually trying to write and play, and I'm giving loosely quoting there, but he doesn't have the authority just to put that shit. This is not a dictatorship. He can't just come out here and be like, hey, we got to send all the Mexicans back. He can't. There's a bunch of people in play that have to authorize that and so forth. That's why we have.
Yeah, they round them up, but there's still a case to be had. Yeah.
Right. So it's a lot of things. So don't let this all overwhelm you to the point to where you can't think straight. Because to Dave's point, hey, you still got a household to provide for. You still got a savings to build up. A lot of this shit, we've been living in a bubble for a long time in our own distinctive bubbles. And then for all those who made a decision to cast that vote, this is what the fuck you get. This is what you get.
For me, I'll say this real quick. Nobody, no matter who's in office, is going to solve all your problems.
Nobody.
So if you sit back and you wait for somebody to be in office, and then all of a sudden life is glorious, you're waiting for a long time. You need to figure out what are the things that you can build on with whoever's in there. So, for example, on my side of things, I'm looking specifically on the real estate stuff because I know he's going to do certain measures on the real estate side that will be beneficial for me because most of his stuff is within real estate. So these are the type of things that you got to kind of look at. Whoever that is in there and whatever they're pitching, how can you benefit off of
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
it.
You
still
don't
gotta live
have to
life.
believe in the ideologies, man. And this is going to take, and that don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that's going to take us transitions right over to right into the same topic. Hip hop, man, and Donald Trump. There's been a lot of pushback and conversation and canceling, quote unquote, after the pre-inaugural festivities that were going on. There's a lot of stuff going on with, you had Snoop Dogg and Soulja Boy and Rick Ross, Nelly, quite a few others out there performing at one of the pre-inaugural events for one Donald Trump. I just want to take some of y'all back because people forget Donald Trump just didn't show up 8 years ago. Donald Trump has been a part, whether you believe it or not, of hip hop since the 1980s, when his name popped up in actually a Beastie Boys song, because it was one of the ones where he became an icon amongst like the ultra rich type. Y'all remember what the Diners Club card? Y'all remember that shit from back in the day? Diners Club? I don't know if you remember seeing those commercials and stuff like that. Or do you remember what was the what was the show that came on? It was the white guy that had the real interesting voice. It was like, what was it, Lifestyle Future Famous? Is that what it was? Is that the name of it? Yeah. He comes from back then. There are pictures that you can find on Google that has Donald Trump next to some of your most revered hip hop artists. Jay-Z, Sean Combs.
He was in the videos.
He was
in the videos.
He was there. And all of them. All of these shit. Like Trump Towers was a thing in Vegas then. All that stuff. So I'm not surprised at these guys going out there to perform. I'm not. I mean, Snoop Dogg does a show with Martha Stewart. Come on, bro.
But hold on. I gotta stop you there. Stop you there. I think Earl and I had this conversation offline. Yeah. I'm not that person where you're at a Trump thing and I'm canceling you. I only got time for all that, to be honest with you.
All right.
Nelly performed there. Nelly came out and made his statement on the fact of, look, I'm for whoever's in there. If so-and-so would have called me up there, cool. That's straight. All right? I do got a problem with stuff.
Well, before you go there.
The reason why is very easy. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, what I was saying is Snoop has shown us that he really, I hate to say this about him, he has no one allegiance to no one person. I'll put it that. I'll just say that. And his actions has shown that over the last few years, he doesn't have an allegiance to one side or the other.
But it's not the allegiance, Sean. That's what I'm saying. It's not even. You blatantly said. Go check it. You blatantly said when he was in office last time, and I may be a little bit off on my words, but I know one word definitely came out. Who's gonna be the coon blank 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 to go out there and perform for this guy during his inauguration? Well, guess who that is for the second one, bro? That cool is you.
Yeah. And
if you're gonna make that statement, don't act surprised when you get the backlash. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. I'm not like I said, I'm not the person. If Snoop would have never said that and performed, yeah, he still would have got some backlash and everything like that. But I really don't care. I ain't got enough time in a day where I'm like, oh, let's cancel everybody like they did Chrisette Michelle and all that stuff. I ain't got time for that. It's whatever. But when he made that statement, and if you go back and you listen to it, this wasn't no slight of word.
Right. Yeah.
This is like challenging people. Like, who's gonna be the one? Yeah, probably be you. Probably be you. No, bro, it's you. They got you on the dollar. It was you, and that's it. And I love Snoop, but that was you, bro.
What were we doing? What were we doing pre-show? You were listening to who? One Kendrick Lamar, right?
Kendrick. Yep.
Did Snoop not get called out by his own West Coast, some person who looked up to them for him doing the bullshit with him playing Drake's song, and he tried to say, well, you know, the edibles must have got me. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's got to a space now where he's become so marketable, and he does a lot of great stuff. So let's not diminish that aspect. He's done a lot of good
I
stuff.
love
But
the
from a
I love the
business
last
part,
album.
yes, but
But yeah,
he's become so much of a brand that he goes wherever he can get exposure at this point. He does things for exposure, which I hate to see. Like whatever is going to hate it or love it. This shit puts his name in light. So the next couple of months, you gonna see Snoop do some other shit.
So
it's just one of those things where he kind of like, you know, you're dancing with the devil type situation. But go ahead, Errol. What you got?
So this does it put its thing on my perception of Snoop? Yeah, absolutely. Overall, am I gonna let this one thing define everything he is? No, because that's not fair, right? But he can never ever speak on anything in this realm again. Like, I don't want to hear you talking none of this stuff because you're a hypocrite. You're a straight hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even mad at the rest of them. I ain't care. Like,
right.
it's what it is. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's between you and the guys you serve. You know what I'm saying? But him, because of what he said, you are a hypocrite. And I can't, you can't be on both sides of the fence. It's either you're going to stand on business or you're going to say, yo, it is what it is. I respect Nelly, excuse me, it's Ginger. I respect Nelly because at least Nelly tried to, it ain't make no sense. But
yeah, but he came out, said his going
at least
straight
he
up.
spoke on it. Like, it made zero sense, but at least he was brave enough to speak on it.
Yeah.
Snoop is out here putting subliminals, and then the next day you're gonna sit up, or the same day or whatever, you're gonna put up a Martin Luther King post. I said, bro, like, chill out.
And give him the same energy that you're giving, like a school that was going up there to play.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That had to my knowledge, had to pay their way.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? Like, everybody got on. How you going up there, bro? Because this is an opportunity. Like,
Right.
like I'm going up to the White House. That was their thing. But when he was so hypocritical, like I said, if it was a sleight of tongue, like something real quick, and then I was kind of wrong. Nah, bro, go watch that joint.
Nah, he's a hypocrite, bro. So that's why I'm like, yeah, so, and this is what I be saying, like, yo, at the end of the day, you good, bro. Stay over there. Don't come back to us when it's cool, when it's popping. Like, ain't nobody gonna want to hear nothing you got to say. And honestly, you're gonna have to eat that because you put yourself in that. You chose this over that. Cool.
Yeah, that's
cool. But at the end of the day, like, stay where you at. You good. You know what I'm saying, you're good.
It just makes you think. One, I will say this is why you don't make celebrities don't make them your end all be all. Don't let them be your role model. Please don't make them your role models by any stretch of imagination. You can applaud them for the things that they do, but don't turn them into role models. And then after the fact, we start doing the whole, we about to cancel this, that, and the third. Look, it's still plenty of us out here playing Step in the Name of Love. So cut that shit out. It's just with Snoop, man. It's with Snoop is so it's so different, but it's not surprising. Just looking at different things that have been happening, it's like because when you look at the West Coast, crazy to sound like they have a level of being grounded that is similar to, you familiar with when, like, if you're a Southern guy, they have like a level of foundation where it's a community type thing there. So it makes you, I know he's far and away removed from that life that he was when he first walked into Dre's studio coming off the block and, being a Crip and all, man. But, and even then that in itself has changed over the years because it's become so, with the day of meeting and everything else, people do stuff now who's in that life. They do shit then that the OGs would not even think of doing. But it just make you think, man. It's like at some point your character has to be something. That's just me. Like you have to have a level of character about yourself. Like you have to, because best believe, and unfortunately, it's going to happen again where there's going to be a high profile. I don't wish it to happen, but it's just, we've been on this goddamn continent for 400 plus years. There's going to be another high profile situation where we're going to be talking about a black person lost their life in a way that is going to make all these folks come out and do this goddamn infomercial or something else. And they're going to be talking a bunch of nonsense, especially with a lot of cities you see here right now, because everybody's being able to operate. Those in different factions have been given the license to operate all willy-nilly. It's a weird place that we're in. It's a weird place that we're in. And I'll before I go on to the next thing, man, this is oddly, if you know history, I want you guys to revisit the old Roman Empire. If you guys went social studies and everything else like that. I'm talking about pre-Caesar and all the other stuff there. We're not in a dictatorship situation, but some of these folks you have in charge, particularly your president or our president or whoever you want to call him, there's a level of
take your time.
Help me out.
Authoritarian.
There you go. I can't get that shit. It's a long ass word.
Like we all categories out this show.
Authoritarian. There you go. Because I think, and then the longer word would be like authoritarianism. That's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a level of authoritarian that is that he looks for, and one of those ancient rulers of Rome, man, Sulla. When he came back into power, he rolled in there with a list of, this is a hit list of people, of his enemies, at the time that he was either not trying to kill, but just trying to get locked up or something like that, just to show his power. And Trump has shown that at times. He's already revoked the clearances of some of his former security staff and stuff like that. Like, it's something just to look at and watch for everybody who want to cast their vote all willy-nilly. It's a really, really dangerous thing to do when you got somebody who has a lot of personal vendettas against folks, and at the same time using the American people as just the background of it all to pursue his own personal agendas and grievances. Because this is what I see more times than not. Like, if you really look at the whole Donald Trump presidency from the first time to now, if you really look at it and look at how he had a lot of failed businesses and stuff like that, it's really him just getting back at the folks that, he felt like didn't give him a quote unquote fair shot. Which is wild to see, man. That's just wild to see.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're playing these games when you got lives, 300 million lives.
It's a reality show, bro. It's really literally a reality show. It's a reality show from when he was The Apprentice. That's what he had. It's literally the reality show. Yeah, it's a reality show.
This is literally real talk. We look crazy as a country. I mean, we've been looking crazy for a while. But this solidifies it. Like, we look crazy. I think even what's even worse is the people that believes in him, because mental health is for real. Like, they don't care about no facts, and the stuff that they spew out is fucking stupid. But what sucks though, and this is on Trump, but not hip hop. One of the executive orders that you're starting to see really enact right now, because you're hearing stuff about it, is this deportation endeavors with ICE. And it's crazy because something just went out. I just seen something maybe an hour ago that said it was businesses in Newark that got raided. But not even just that, what's OD is like they not only raided migrants or immigrants, but they raided citizens.
Veteran.
And one who happened to be a veteran. And then they questioning his service. So I'm like, this is getting crazy. And all I'm gonna say, All I'm gonna say is, I'm not gonna say that because I ain't gonna say that. I keep that.
But the deep part of it also, the deep part of it, Earl, is there's no restrictions. He gave them the authority to go in churches, schools. Imagine you're in school tomorrow. I wish this on no one, but you're in there working, and then you just see ICE roll up in the building and start pulling.
So what's crazy is my school is 50-50. It's 50% blacks, 50% Hispanic. And I guarantee you we have undocumented families.
But this is what I'm telling you.
Not the kids more so, but more so the parents.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up here like,
and I'm like, how are certain things functioning?
Yeah.
You had to think about it. It sounded good until you realize that these people that voted for it, more than half your business runs off those same people. You're like, shit.
Didn't we just have a plane of Mexican firefighters come out to California to help with the goddamn wildfires out there?
And incarcerated that are getting paid $10 a day.
Yeah.
Yo, that's
but you know, this
bruh.
This might be a wild statement, right? But if it goes the way I think it's gonna go, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the start of something that's going to be long term. And I'm not comparing the two because this one is not comparable to the other one because this one had long term effects and it was a real epidemic. Because I was going to say this is not similar in comparison to like the crack epidemic, but if this really manifests like I think it will, you're going to see a lot of things impacted. You're going to see businesses impacted. You're going to see families broken up, which is going to have impact on other things that people don't even realize. And it's going to turn into a snowball of negative shit. So all I'm going to say is just stay tuned, y'all. Everybody get ready. Get ready. And to my Hispanic family who voted for this man, I have no sympathy for y'all. Y'all are idiots. To really think that you think that this man is for you, he don't give a shit about you. All he care, I don't even think he care about. It ain't even about color. It ain't nothing about color. It's about classism. It's about money.
Yes. Thank you for saying it. Yes. Don't give a shit about nobody. Don't care what color.
It's for the wealthy. It's how do I protect the wealth? And you just sit there and you look at that inauguration, and I've never seen the likes of so many billionaires just like behind. Like it's about preserving the wealthy, making them richer.
If you notice that, not to continue on this type of topic, but if you notice, now they're trying to separate themselves from Elon because he's getting too much of the limelight.
Too late for that.
So they're kind of trying to push that to the side. And here's another laughing matter. Old boy thought he was gonna have a talking voice, and he's like probably 15th, 20th on the list, and that's his own VP Vance. I mean, that he was behind everybody. I was like, you're the VP, right? Did you not realize that he tried to get his last VP killed? Like, bro.
Yep.
Worst job to have in life. Oh,
well,
man.
Good luck, buddy.
That shit was loud as hell. That shit scared the fuck out of me.
It was the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean, Earl, Dave, episode 162. Oh man, let's get into some stuff that we actually care about.
There we go.
There's a Nintendo Switch 2 coming out. The release has happened. Well, the release, the announcement of it has happened. So Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah, I seen that. The black joint. Well, yeah.
It's so many different features coming to this.
I'm laughing at this. I'm laughing.
so many different features coming to the new Switch itself. The first thing I will say is this will be more expensive than the first one. This is about $100 more, about $400 because I know when I bought the Mrs. Hers, I was like, oh no, I didn't. But even then, though, I was like, I felt like I paid $400 in. Maybe I got her a bundle or something, but it's coming in about $400 in this case. I also read off this that I think they said about 5 Xbox games is actually coming over to the Switch itself, and then there's also a conversation about them backwards compatibility with some 3DS games, which they absolutely need because there are some dope 3DS games that deserve to be preserved. But that being the case, man, like Nintendo still continues to do their thing. I know, and I had to look this up. And the way they break it down, I know we talked before about the Nintendo treasure chest and such. So Nintendo in itself is just Nintendo. It's just it's gaming. That's what they do. And I saw the Nintendo store when I came up to New York during the holidays, which is still pretty dope. But then you have Sony and you have PlayStation and Xbox, which they are video game systems, but they are owned by major media companies. PlayStation is owned by Sony. And Xbox, of course, is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft in itself you take Xbox away, Microsoft still has a bunch of other shit that they do. But when you really look at the market cap on the game system itself, Nintendo itself as a company is worth about $33 billion. With Sony worth about, I want to say it was like $152 billion, I think I saw. And then Microsoft being worth like $3.3 trillion, which is insane. That being said, before y'all go into Nintendo Switch, if Microsoft is worth $3.3 trillion and they own Xbox, why in the holy fuck can y'all not get City Skylines 2 to work on Xbox? Because the report is they can't get City Skylines 2 to work on Xbox or PlayStation because the systems themselves are not powerful enough. And that's according to a report on November 25th. But anyway, we're talking about the Switch. Let's go. What you guys got?
Sounds like you need to play it on a computer, buddy.
I guess I do. Shit.
Right. Let that shit go.
Hey, shut your mouth. Go ahead.
Because they hurt you year after year, bro. Like it's.
We're talking about the Nintendo Switch, Earl.
I'm sorry, you brought it up.
Yes, let's go. What you got, man? What you got to think about? Are we grabbing Switches? I know I'm gonna grab that because Mario keeps going.
First off, I don't like the term of going to grab a Switch. Yeah. I'm just gonna put that out there. I know my childhood. And then secondly, he won't be getting no Switch up in this house because he already has the regular one, and y'all already know what that meta costs. So you better figure it out.
I just bought
how to build it on that.
I just bought this boy for Christmas a Switch. I got him the Switch Lite the first time. He ain't play that. But now I got him the regular Switch. He plays that a lot. So I give him that. Like he loves it. And now will I get this Switch too? No.
Now let me ask you, hold on. So what's the difference
between the Lite and so the Lite, and I had to learn
being lighter, of course.
Well, yeah, the Lite I had to learn the hard way.
It's more of a handheld.
Yeah, you can't hook the Lite up to like the TV and nothing like that. It doesn't have a USB or nothing like that. But the regular Switch, you can do all that.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I bought my daughter the Nintendo Switch Lite a couple of years ago as a birthday gift. So it's really more of this the handheld situation, so you can't hook it up. So the Switch itself, it is the console that you can turn to that. So now they have made some really dope improvements to the Nintendo Switch 2. Of course, it's a much larger aspect in the case. They actually have a mouse mode actually for the Joy-Cons. They're much larger in this case. I do like the fact that, the game that keeps on giving, the new Mario Kart, that shit has 24 players all at once. So I'm kind of excited about that. I like the fact that Nintendo just continue to do what they know to do, is gaming. That's what they do. Like they have that treasure chest. They're not backed by nobody. It's just Nintendo. Again, to the point is PlayStation is backed by Sony because it's a Sony property, but Sony also does films and stuff like that, and Microsoft is Microsoft. But the fact that Nintendo will still be able to corner the market, the hype First of all, remember when the first Switch came out? You couldn't even find one for a long time. You could not even find it. Right. It used to be a time when you couldn't find an Xbox or a PlayStation. But at this point now, it's like, whatever. Because now, again, going back to, and this is not a City Skylines thing, but it made me look into some things. You mean to tell me that we're in the year 2025 and there's a game where these systems aren't powerful enough to put out, but we also can kind of see that in the games we play now outside of Call of Duty, which what they do again is fucking insane because the way it looks. But these other games out there, whether we're playing Madden or 2K, they still, as far as good as they look underwhelming considering the power that these systems are capable of, quote unquote. And the fact that Nintendo's like, damn all that, we just gonna create games. We're not trying to, we go interactive family stuff. What are we doing?
After getting this meta question and playing on this VR golf, it makes me not even want to play certain games.
I thought you were about to say don't play Xbox golf. I was like,
I could tell.
No.
Don't be on damn shit.
But let me tell you something right now. If you put a fan next to me and let the wind blow and put a little bit of a scent in the air, you can't tell me I'm not on the green, goddamn. When I tell you how real that joint is, and I'm talking about the slight of movement, and you are slicing and cutting on the, like, nah, bro. It is like if you're missing a putt out there in real life, you're missing a putt in this VR game. It ain't no, hey, just hit it, right? Hit it a little bit and it's gonna go. Nah, bro. You will be out there 5, 6, 7 putting that joint on the green. It's awesome. So when you go and you play a game like that, and then I go back to the Xbox and I throw in one of these PGA joints, I'm like,
not the same. Let's talk about that. So we're talking about meta, and it's something that I brung up on Football Talk, which we'll be back again this weekend. Of course we will. And of course, I brung it up then, but I got to bring it up now because we're in the pod space. TGL, the golf league. Earl, I know you don't watch it.
I've been seeing it, but I'm like, what the fuck is this?
The golf league is a league of, it's really virtual golf. So it was the brainchild of one Tiger Eldrick Woods and Rory McIlroy, and they created down in Florida. Man, they have this whole freaking facility that they actually built probably the world's best golf simulator, and that's an understatement. Yeah. So of course they're driving you're driving off of it into off the tee, and then they behind them they have I think they said it's about 27,000 square foot pitching, putting whole situation going on, to where it has about 600 some actuators, to where based off of the designs of the hole that they created, it morphs into that. And they created a whole league. They have teams that are owned by the likes of Serena Williams and a whole bunch of upper echelon folks. And it's a whole situation, man, to watch. So much so me and Dave was looking at the tickets for these goddamn matches. And boy, oh boy, they are not cheap at all. At all. But I will say, to add to his virtual golf point, Tiger may be playing it, so he's like 56 years old. He ain't got to walk an 18 hole. No, he just stay on the on the simulator. He good.
So real quick, I had to look this up. So we were definitely watching the game. The league is on like ESPN and everything, Earl. So
right.
Check out one of the joints. It's pretty cool. It's
pretty dope. It's pretty dope, man.
But I want y'all to hear this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 6 teams in the league right now. Okay?
Right.
Listen to these owners. You got Serena and her husband, and Venus actually owns that squad too. And that same squad for LA is owned by the Antetokounmpo brothers. Mm-hmm. So Giannis and his brother. Okay.
Yep.
The Boston team is owned by the Fenway Sports Group that owns the Boston Red Sox. Atlanta team is owned by Arthur Blank, the owner of Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Golf Club is owned by Stephen Cohen, who is the owner of the Mets. The Bay Golf Club is owned by, now I don't know Mark Losry, but Steph Curry, Iguodala, and Klay Thompson.
Right. Uh-huh.
And then the Jupiter Golf Club is owned by Tiger Woods and David Blitzer. Like, when you hear some of these names, you know there's been some research into this.
Yes.
There's been some, hey, let me throw out this scenario, how fast you think this will be on return and things like that. I sent Sean an article, and it wasn't, I don't want it to make it look like they can't get people into the stands, but it's very smart.
Yeah.
They're paying like certain people to be in certain places, like to fill certain things up because they know it may be out of the price range of regular folk. It's a small arena for that big of an event. But what they put into this and the time that they put into this, I definitely appreciate it, because to be able to sit back and watch golf all year long, indoor, and not have to watch it in a whole nother country or something like that, where the game has already been played, I already know exactly what happened that round, but I'm watching the replay. I appreciate it, bro. And it's real. It's the real. You see Tiger getting frustrated the same way he get frustrated on the course. He trying to smile through the frustration, but it's like, nah, bro. He about to break that club. Everybody about to get out of his house.
It is dope. It really is an experience, man, to watch. And you got the fans in the stands. So and it's completely different. It's nothing like them being on the course to where, everybody's quiet. You get down to 15 seconds, and then they have like the heartbeat aspect going. It's like really
clock.
Yeah, like what we do when we play on PGA Tour and stuff like that. It's a really dope thing to see, man. So I still feel like we're gonna make one of these matches. At some point, we got until March to get to one of them. So, Southwest.
So can I touch on one thing, Meta, and we can expand on it a little bit more for football talk?
Yeah, right.
So there's a certain gentleman that's still playing right now that I heard a very interesting fact about.
Yes.
And it actually started in college.
Yep.
And this person prepares for the game, which is easily shown through the results, through actually practicing beforehand.
Yeah.
Through scenarios ran through VR. That person is Jaden Daniels. And they did an interview with him, and he was talking about the fact of, say if they're running cover 2 or cover 3, something like that.
Cover 3.
And he's like, there's so many different ways that they can come at me and do certain things. And so I can go over that on repeat on a VR and play through the scenario. So I am totally prepared for that specific team.
But it's actually faster. But it's actually faster in VR than it is.
He says he only has a certain amount of
like
and I
seconds.
was like, yo, that is awesome. Not only the fact that he does that, but doing it since then.
So he's been doing it since college, and then what they've added to it this year, they've added Cliff Kingsbury, his offensive coordinator, to his ear. So just like on the field when they talking to his ear, so on his VR now, he has Cliff's voice in the VR telling him to play. So now he has to process all that in the VR. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, that's what insane. But yeah, TGL Golf, and I am going to buy a Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I bought my wife a Nintendo Switch for herself. She don't even play this shit like she want to, like she should. It's okay, don't worry about it. I'll be buying a 2 for myself. I'll just put it right out here in the studio. Not a problem at all. Let's get into some MCU news. So we are exactly, as we stand right now, oh my God, we are exactly 22 days away from Captain America Brave New World dropping. And I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm gonna see it when they come on Disney. That's what the fuck I'm gonna see it.
Oh man, don't do that.
It do not be in the movie theaters for no more than 2 weeks, bro.
No, it's gonna be longer. It's gonna be long.
A month.
It's gonna be longer than that. But this is why I say this. I need the same. I hope and I need the same energy that we put around Black Panther, when that dropped in the movie theaters, I need that same type of energy to be given to this Captain America dropping.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
I know it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. It's not. But
See,
there is so
as somebody, my bad, because this is valid.
Right.
As somebody who's not a comic book person, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the Black Panther whole situation, you didn't have to be a comic book person for that to be a movement.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like that was completely different.
Yeah.
Him portraying Captain America ain't hitting the same, especially right now. It ain't hitting the same. Even though,
mm-hmm.
from the last one, you know, especially I forget what was that line he said. Like he was running it down in that one. I forget the episode, but he was running it down. I was like, oh, okay, I fucks with him.
You're talking about at the end of of the series, yeah.
When he was talking to like the But so even though he kind of comes off like a how can I say this? Like one of these,
like a martyr.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But again, I just have to say, it ain't gonna have that same kind of impact for the Black.
This is why. This is. I know it's not going to do those numbers. I know, but this is why I think this is important. Because there. I'll let you all know. There's gonna be a lot of bullshit that's gonna come down just off of this, off of the Captain America piece. And now that you have, because for those who never have read a comic, they don't realize this is from the comics. We had a Black Captain America. Actually, we had two, I believe.
Oh, really?
But this hits home because in the film you're going to see the first in the film there, the first Black Captain America. In the film, without giving too much away. Yep.
Oh wait,
the first
was that the one that from
the older guy?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So this hits home to me because this takes me back to all of the and this is pre. I know this happened before. Then I'm thinking about Vietnam, and there was a lot of Black soldiers that held high ranks in Vietnam. It go back before that, World War II. They went and served, and when they came back home, they weren't even considered no more than 3/5 of a human. There's actually a clause in the goddamn Constitution where that shit was it. So I know this is just a comic book film, but from watching the MCU so long, they do a very good job of including these little nuggets in there, man, that makes you think. Mind you, Stan Lee was one of the most progressive individuals there was to walk this planet. X-Men, Dr. Xavier and Magneto, that was inspired by none other than Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Like all this stuff has a level, a foundation of it that is just more than just their creative imagination. They were writing based off of what they saw around them, as was a lot of the actual comic book characters that they created. So that's why it's kind of important to me in that regard. Again, it's not going to do the numbers as Black Panther. Black Panther in that first weekend, because it's coming out on President's Day weekend, they did over $225 million that weekend. I think right now this new Captain America is tracking roughly just under 100 million. But I hope everybody gives it the same, attempts to give it the same energy. Man, it's not going to happen that way because, a lot of Black folks, they don't identify with this Captain America part. But I hope it just, we dropped out because forget about the fact that Anthony Mackie is playing it. It's the character itself, and I think Anthony Mackie is holding it down pretty cool. But that's just me. What you got, Dave?
Nothing. I mean, I'm gonna see it. Definitely not gonna compare it to Black Panther. That was like Earl said.
That was a movie.
It's two different levels there.
Right. No, you're right.
I do think Marvel's gonna make a very ill return this year to where they need to be. with the slate that they have coming out.
Right.
I don't know if you watched the last season of What If yet, but if you haven't watched the whole thing of What If,
no, I haven't not yet.
Okay. Let me just say this: that last episode, yeah. If that is any indication of where Marvel's about to go with this thing this year, I mean, Cam and I stood up, standing ovation, bro. Like, because that was, as far as we know, the end of the What If series. This season was the end of it. So it is they went the right way, and if this is playing any part into the MCU future, it's going to be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Very interesting. So I'm excited. I didn't even realize I've been looking forward to the Captain America so much. I forgot that the Spider-Man thing drops next week. They got that dropping on Disney. I believe it's still coming out next week. The animated joint.
You got that too, man. You got that too happening.
That's going to be cool. Hey, get that ready for Rashawn there, Earl. Next week, Spider-Man, the animated joint comes out on Disney Plus.
Oh, for shit! I gotta get Disney Plus. They didn't court me.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Because I was using a family Disney Plus, and they didn't got me.
Yep, they didn't got you in there. And then on the other side, on the DCU side, they have James Gunn revealed that they have started filming Supergirl. So that is going to be pretty. They I feel so bad because they're filming Supergirl. And remember last year, we were talking about the fact that they had filmed and completed and wrapped, Batgirl, and they would look at that shit was like, this is not good. We're going to go ahead and not release this at all. Let's throw this away. I think we spent about $120 million on this. So,
you know how bad that movie had to be for some of the movies that still came out.
Yeah,
you know how
and the
bad
that had to be worse than Halle Berry's Catwoman film. Gosh almighty, that had to be horrible.
It was still Halle Berry in the cat suit. That's all I'm saying.
It was. That's what I would have watched it. Shit, on OnlyFans or something. I would have watched that. I guess, man. Let's get into some some official not so breaking news. So we got all of this political stuff going around. It's been cold as shit outside. Folks have been getting sick. There's been a low-key rise of like the RSV situation going on. But within all that, if you didn't know, you had your first human death from the bird flu. I'm not sure if you guys was aware of this at all. So the first person in the United States to die from H5N1. Remember, we had H1N1. Somehow first of all, what happened to 2, 3, and 4? Because this is the H5N1 bird flu. Remember, we had H1N1, so I don't know what happened to those other 3, but was a patient in Louisiana who died in January of this month. The patient was over 65 and had other health conditions. So, of course, condolences to them. It said the patient contracted H5N1 or bird flu after being exposed to wild and backyard birds, whatever that means. The patient sample showed that virus mutated within them, which could mean it's adapting to infected humans better. So apparently the first reported infection of the bird flu came back to like 1997. So I think it's well known. If you really get into like the whole science of the aspect, and we often talk about like how humans weren't meant for Earth. What I mean by that is we're the only ones who have to do things like wear raincoats, sunblock, and all the other stuff. Where you have all these other species, they can adapt to it. So whatever you believe in, we were just kind of placed here, or made here, however you want to call it. But apparently, the bird flu is a thing, and you just out there interacting with like wild birds. They didn't say what type of birds, because I got like hawks and pigeons and shit in my backyard. What y'all got on this? Is this a concern?
So you have brought back out the fuck around and find out, Dave. So if you thought this was gonna get any better, it's not.
It's not.
Boy is basically trying to cut down on the FDA right now. So if you think you got warnings before, you're probably not going to get them now. You're just going to fuck around and find out. And there's going to be certain, can't hear you, Earl. There's going to be certain diseases that you haven't even heard about before. They're going to pop right on up because fuck around and find out. There's going to be certain things that you thought were done way back in the day, back when your grandpops and everything had these certain things. Guess what? They're going to be right back. Fuck around to find out. Another reason why those things are going to be around, because your boy is about to basically abolish the Department of Education within the FDA also. So guess what? These kids ain't got to get no shots. They're going to be walking to school state by state. Fuck around to find out. Welcome to the world. I'm going to talk on that.
I don't like it. I don't like it because again, I need to fuck around and find out what happened to H2N1, H23 because we skipped from H1 to H5.
Listen, you see me smiling, right? And that's because I do it all through all the shit I had. Right. This morning, my wife had a flash meeting. By the way, for people that don't know, she works at the FDA. Okay.
Right.
Her boss just announced, I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'm retiring. Just out the blue. You think that was spur of the moment?
No, not at all, sir.
Yeah, give you a couple months. I'm on out of here. This is what's going on. Nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be. You think people ain't going to be cutting corners? Oh, he going to make me go on in it now. Forget this. I'm done. Fuck around and find out. You about to see. You about to see. People don't realize the testing and the degree of how certain things that you take on a normal basis are scrutinized through testing before it hits the shelves. Yes. What it has to go through. You can hear like a certain drug being announced, but that thing ain't on the shelf for about 10, 15 years because of all the things it has to go through.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Cut
the funding and stuff on that type of stuff. Okay. Cut down the barriers and all those and the red tape, as they say, on all that. Okay. All right. Be right over there with Earl, eating my ginger, because I ain't messing with no medicine.
Yo, I took my airborne immune system booster before I walked in this bitch. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Hey, you won't get me, buddy. You won't get me. What you got, Earl? What you got? Birth.
Ain't shocked. That's all I got to say. I ain't shocked. Just remember the last time he was in office, we had COVID. So if this is part two.
Told you what, drink bleach or some shit?
Yeah.
Next is gonna be goddamn what's that shit called? OxyClean, something like that. We do not promote none of this shit. We just making fun of it. This is all entertainment.
Hey, you know what? We haven't really, since we are speaking about it, though, and I did bring it up real quick. Is there any talk about that, Earl, at your school as far as that Department of Education? Because that's not a lie I'm talking about. He really wants to do away with the Department of Education.
Yeah, I mean,
and leave it up to the states in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it won't really. It didn't impact schools, but in different ways. Like, especially like when you.
I didn't know about the funding and everything like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it didn't impact.
Earl started that sentence with rubbing his eyebrow. Let you know that shit is stressful. He just ain't gonna let us all through. He was like,
he ain't gonna let it stress.
I ain't stressed. Like, it didn't impact. It impacts some things. Like I really think about like kids with disabilities and stuff like that. It's really gonna impact them. I think more so with anything, it's gonna impact like curriculum. But then also too, you know, like I said, depending on where you're at, especially with like this with this ice shit, like it's going to impact certain school districts a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying?
So I just wanted to look it up real quick specifically because, you know, for us not on the inside, we just hear Department of Education. We think like the school's going to crumble and shit, like it's done. But the U.S. Department of Education, DOE, is a federal agency that establishes policies, administers programs, and coordinates federal assistance for education. The DOE's mission is to ensure that all students have access to a quality education and to prepare them for global competitiveness.
That in itself is bullshit because we all know that there are plenty of school systems that ain't getting none of that support.
But if you think this is where I think Earl was. If you think it's slighted now,
oh yeah, absolutely,
with the protections.
And I think was also the schools that's also going to really suffer is like public schools.
Oh yeah,
because I think
private's going to get they
private's going to be all right.
They're in their own internal.
I think you're going to see more flux of charter schools.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
no, but he's pushing for that in the first term.
Yeah, but public schools, I think that's they're going to.
I think he was also pitching the fact of giving some type of extra credit for homeschooling.
Yeah,
like tax incentives or some shit. So
yeah,
okay.
Have you ever tried to do the math? Have you ever tried to do that new math with your kids? I don't want to homeschool. No goddamn body. 1 + 1 is 2. When someone say, "Well, there's another way to find out 2," bitch, I don't know what you talking about because I see 2 sticks. I don't know what you mean. I don't.
You ain't gonna have my kid up in this goddamn house any longer than he need to be. That's all I.
All I'm gonna say is, man, Dave, you're lucky because your child is coming to the end of this journey.
Yeah.
Me and Sean, we still fighting the good fight, bro.
I'm just now starting. I just sat through a 2-hour briefing yesterday, and I'm like, I don't know. I just want to go home. That's all I want to do. Yeah, man. Of course, man. This is the Hot Seat Podcast, episode 162. This podcast won't be what it is, man. If we haven't taken our regular conversation from our Xbox Live, I need y'all to beef up the power on that so I can get my city skylines too. And taking that over to the podcast space. Of course, you can find me on Xbox Live at Sanaa2X. The last couple of days, actually, I was on the box quite a bit. I was actually revisited Mafia Game of the Year edition, and I actually posted it in my Instagram stories. That game is a fucking masterpiece. Like it, storyline, everything else in between. If you love like just old like Mafia 1940s films, it's so good. And then between that, I was playing Killer Instinct because I reinstalled my Killer Instinct. Still continuing my career in the show because I've reached arbitration now. I just got one of the largest contracts in, I guess, history of the league, and playing my regular City Skylines remastered because I got a city that I've been building for the last 7 years and it's doing quite well. That's all I got. Sanaa2X on Xbox. Yeah.
The Storyteller. I was playing some COD today, playing on the campaign. Pretty dope.
I ain't see you. You was on there today?
I was on there today too. I ain't seen either one of y'all.
Yeah.
Actually, it depended because today I was at home off work and I took a nap. I took a grown ass nap.
No, not during the day though. Not during the day. This is probably like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
I was off.
So yeah, rocking on that. Sean, don't call me this year about the new Tiger Woods coming out. I'm not getting it. I will be on my meta.
I already pre-ordered it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, have fun with that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's really, really about it. I'm catching up on a whole lot of different shows.
Yeah.
And actually cut off some streaming things that I had because they don't have enough shows for me to keep on watching it. So
yeah.
Girl?
What you got, Earl?
NJ Fatboy 973. I was on Xbox, played a little bit of football, got over that pretty quick. Bowl did a tournament, still on that.
On the game?
On the game. I played, I actually started a season in basketball. So I was with the Knicks. Made some moves.
Look at you.
Made some moves. Yep. Yeah, and I think that's it.
We still got about 5 minutes. Still about 5 minutes left. Because you said something about basketball. Not basketball, but you were talking.
Can I give a shout out real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, yo, man, shout out to Bilal.
Did you get the clip I sent you?
Nah, what you sent me?
I sent it to you on IG, his NPR Chinese desk.
Oh yeah. I ain't see it, but I was on it.
I got
His
you.
NPR, very fucking dope.
Yeah,
very fucking dope. The man don't get the respect he deserves.
Not at all.
Voices top tier. But yeah, shout out to Bilal for the tiny desk, and also shout out to a group called Tanking the Bangers.
Yes.
They got a thing called like Poetry on the Porch, which is pretty dope. I'm glad Black people don't take this and try to be divisive, because there's another brother, Nooch, who has the front porch. You know what I'm saying? You can have multiple. You have the same thing, but
Porches.
multiple, different porches, different moves. Her niche is poetry. His niche is music. There's room for everybody. So shout out to them for that, because it's pretty dope. Shout out to Nooch for front porch. Every year it gets better and better. And it's funny because when front porch was just starting up, before he had guests and it was just him rapping, and then his first set of guests was like local acts, I hit his DM. Because I saw where it was about to go. Before he got all these cats, I hit his DM, man. No bueno. I tried, dog. But shout out to Nooch, man. He's doing this thing.
Salute to him, man. And that same breath, man, salute to the young sir that I've been rocking with for the longest time, Lil Russell. He ain't got the front porch, but he got the goddamn backyard. If I often share things from Lil Russell. He's out of Cali, man, Vallejo, and he is the epitome of someone who has did that shit his own way. And it's I love seeing in this creative space with all the insanity that's going on, because we often think that there is not enough room at the table for everybody to eat. I don't care whether you're in a real estate space, media space, there's always enough room. Now, I think people get that confused with how much is on your plate. Bro, you just need to have enough to eat to be full. Like, you don't need a buffet, if you know what I mean. So I'm watching Lil Russell, man, and what he's done, and what he's built, and the grind. It all comes down to the grind you put in. You get out of this what you put in.
Yeah.
You get out what you put in. And I use our podcast as what we do.
That verse that he got with using that I Choose You.
Yes.
That shit is hard.
Yes.
That shit's hard.
I use all of that, man. We aren't on one of the top 1% of podcasts. But we are at the top 10%. And that's a fact. Numbers wise, top 10% of global podcasts. And it's dope to see where we've carved out our own space in that for what we do. So there's room to eat for everybody. There's podcasts that I know that I used to listen to and watch that was much more prominent in us that no longer exist. So it's interesting to see how we're still here doing what we do. And we got significant people or consistent people out of Singapore who listens to us week after week, which is hard.
Well, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all.
Singapore, bro. Like, salute to you guys, man.
I'm sorry to follow up your words with what I'm about to say, but since everybody else is giving shout outs, shout out to Drake for putting a foot in your fucking mouth every single time you do something, goddamn it. Because I'm just loving it, bro. I mean, don't try to come back gangster and you taking people to court, bro, and trying to stop songs from being played during the halftime show of the Super Bowl. That's all I know. Because I don't care if they try to ban that joint or not. He playing not like us, bro. And he's saying, saying all the work.
It is happening.
It's going to happen. The question is how many times he going to
Look, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna double down on that, Dave. Don't fuck around and let Washington make it to the Super Bowl. Not like us. Fuck what you talking about. This shit's going to be epic. Epic. Right. Hey, man, that being the case, make sure you guys tune in this weekend, man, to Football Talk Live, presented by the Hot Podcast. Yes. It's going
just put out
down. It is going.
Go
It is going
Redskins.
down. It is going down, bro. It is going down this weekend. You know what? So I'm titling this the most epic football talk live ever, because it will be. I will be in rare form, to say the least. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. And you know, the opening is gonna be even better than it's been the first 2 weeks. I promise you. But again, man, I appreciate you guys tuning into the Hot Seat Podcast. Whether you're watching, whether you're listening, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast. Make sure you make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Go ahead and support us on the hotseatpodcast.com. You become a supporter of the show by joining the Hot Seat Podcast Plus. Yeah, man, that's all I got. Y'all got anything, folks?
Nope. Go Redskins. Go Redskins.
The Hot Seat.